everyone. Thank you to all. Thank you to all for everything. And I really want to say to you, all of you, that thanks for everything. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your coming on time. Thanks for just listening to me. Thanks for accept me. Thanks for everything. So today I'm into the last workshop. And in this workshop, I want to share to you the emotional intelligence in the leadership skill. How do you, it's not only for the only one person. I can say that if you are in business, if you are in any organizations, if you are working anywhere, or else if you are a student. So please listen to me carefully today, because I want to share to you all the tips, all the things which will help you immediately tomorrow, means immediately next day. So please just listen to me and be with me. And thank you so much once again to everyone who actually would join today and just support to me in this particularly platform. Today, this is the last workshop where I would share to you LEQ, so leadership intelligence, emotional intelligence. How do you pursue in your life the same thing? I want to share to you all the details, case studies, tips, and as well as the way that how do you do that, right? Everything I would share today. Please, please, please listen to me carefully, because this time, last two session, it was a different, but this time I really want to request to you, listen to me each and everything which actually I bring for you. So without further ado, let's begin the sessions with this particular workshop, leadership. How do you work on your emotional intelligence towards the leadership quality? Well, in India or in the world, I can say that you can see that the famous leaders are available. And I guess that you all might heard about their names as well. So I want to share to you few names like Mr. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Jacobs, and your Sundar Pichai. So they are the great leaders. In the categories of the great leaders, they are onto the top level, right? And the second most famous person, leader, I mean, I can say that he's a great famous leader. The name is Mr. Ratan Tata. In the world, he is number one leader. Generally, people say that, right? So I want to share to you today the details of everyone. What are the equal qualities they have? Why that people say to them they are the good leader? What is the reason behind of this? I want to share to you five qualities, equal qualities, what they have. And the first quality is transformation. First quality, transformations, means a they have a great innovative idea, new idea. They come up with the new creativity. That is why they have, they are the good leader as well, right? The second important point is interaction. They do lots of interactions with their people, right? They always speak with their people. If I can say to you, Mr. Obama was the great president in USA. Reason that he interacted a lot with their people. That is why he was a great leader. So similarly, that these few leaders are also doing the same. They interact the people more and more. That is why they are the good leader. Third important point, visionary. They have a clarity. They know the clear picture. They take the decisions accordingly. So they are the strong visionary. Fourth important point, empowerment. They all make the leaders. They all create the leaders. I want to tell to you few stories regarding this. They always empower to others. They always feel better to share something to others. And that is why they are leader. Fifth important point, that is the passion. They have a strong passion towards their work, their job, their profile, and all. I want to tell to you one thing here. Everyone knows one person name. She was Mother Teresa. One day, she was too ill. She was on hospital bed, and doctor just said, "Ma'am, you don't go anywhere because you have to, because your health is not well, and you have to stay here only." And she said, "No, doctor, I would request to you, please just leave me. Many people are waiting to me. If I wouldn't go there, it's a big trouble." So that is called the passion, what she had. And that is why passion is very important. Mother Teresa was also a great leader, and she had a great people skill. Similarly, that all these five elements, if you have, you could say yourself, you are a great leader. Now, I will share to you one famous leader in the world. Not only in India, entire world appreciates and speaks a lot about him. And he is not only one business, he's into the many business. He is a great, famous leader, as well as he's into the IT industry, he's into the manufacturing industry, he's into the automobile industry, he's into the electronics industry, he's into the aviation industry, he's into the every industry. And he leads, it's been more than 150 years. He has been leading this organization in a nice manner. I hope that you all can guess easily, but still, I want to share to you that two lines of him, and then I will share one strong story about this person. And the lines are, I don't believe in making the right decision. I take decisions and then make them right. So this is the strong quotations I want to tell to you what this person is. This person is all about a great philanthropist. He's a great man in the world, and his name is Ratan Tata. So today I want to share a small story about Mr. Ratan Tata. This is a revenge story, and why I would share to you that will tell you later on after this story. Well, you know that he's also into the automobile industry. 1998, first time he launched the Tata Indica in the market. Though he was launched first time, so he couldn't know the proper business. I mean, he knew it, but he didn't know that it was a great loss in the market. He was absolutely felt bad about his this industry and in the segment. He was felt that how do I run this business? In 1999, he actually broke down and he thought that I should sell this business. Therefore, at that particular time, Bill Ford, he was the founder of Ford. He called and said that I will buy your division. Mr. Ratan Tata and his team, went to Petrot. It is the Ford headquarters. Almost 3 hours, they had strong discussions. After that, Ford said, please, just, understand this line. If you don't know how to do the business, then why you started your passenger vehicle segment? I do favor on you that to buy your the segment. And he humiliated to Mr. Ratan Tata in front of all the members, all the team members. He felt really bad. And immediately on same day, he took the flight and flew back to the India and decided he will not sell this segment. He will continue with his own. And day and night, he worked hard in this business. And finally, 1999, end of the 1999, he stood with a strong position. And 2008, this brand called that the world's #1 brand, that is Tata Motor. So everyone knows about this brand. And today, if you can see that all these strong automobile, they just, manufacture it and they send it to the other countries as well. So here in 2008, at that particular time, Ford was in the loss. He actually wanted to sell his Jaguar and Land Rover to Mr. Ratan Tata. He called to Ratan Tata and Ratan Tata agreed to buy this. This time, the scenario was different, and the similar way that Petrot to India, Mumbai, that Mr. Ford reached. And this time, Mr. Ratan Tata was just showing his quality, how humble he was at that particular time. And nicely, he dealt with Mr. Ford. And he just bought this 2 brand, Jaguar and Land Rover. And at that particular time, Mr. Ford said, thank you so much, Mr. Tata, because of you that I actually saved my life, because it was a huge crisis at that time. He was such a humble person at that time, though he could also retaliate with the same way. He could also humiliated him the same way, but he couldn't do that. And not only this, that entire world knows about his quality and everyone appreciates to him for this reason. Not only in India, entire world says that he's a great leader. Salute to Mr. Ratan Tata because he has a great leadership quality. I want to tell to you that when Mr. Ratan Tata just broke down at that particular time, he has decided one thing, that he would never give up. And the second important thing is that he actually a person like emotional intelligence. Though he received the humiliations, but he didn't reply with the humiliations. That is why that he is a great leader. And this is the great quality of the leader. If you have that guts that to receive others' issues as well, and others' problems as well, others' humiliations as well, then you can say yourself that you are a great leader. Same things he did. And same things he does every single time. And that is why his other name is philanthropist as well. Philanthropist Ratan Tata. That is the reason. Now you can understand that how you can utilize your emotional intelligence with your work. As you know that already I have shared previous time that emotions means your love, anger, feelings, sadness, sorrow, and all these things. So the similar thing happened with the Ratan Tata as well, but he couldn't take it in that way. He only understood these things that right now my business is most important thing. And successfully he runs his business. Tata Motor is the number one brand in the India as well as in the world. He proved that with your emotional intelligence, you can do anything. Now, I just would tell to everyone, hang on. Why? Because right now, I would share to you certain things. Please keep your pen and paper, note down what actually I want to share to you. And most important thing is your understand and your acceptance. Because I just picked a few things which you face every single day. Every single person is facing this kind of the issues in his or her life, because we all do work. And doesn't matter that you are a student, doesn't matter that you are working in a corporate or you are doing your business, so whatsoever. But I want to tell to you that this is something which is very important to understand. So that is why I need your acceptance. So are you with me, guys? All right, let's go. If you are with me, yes, thank you. So if you are with me, let's go. So I want to share to you one serious leader personality, one serious leader story, how he is a great leader. I want to share to you. You can see that what happens with him, right? One person, he has a great IQ level. He does work in the great organization where he works day and night, no doubt. One project occurs, and one project was a very critical project. Initial days, they were going in a nice manner, but later on, client actually demanded something else. So it was a very difficult time period for him, that how he would go with this particular work. He couldn't understand. At that particular time, his team member, one junior, knocked his cabin and said that, "Sir, I have an idea. I can just help you in this way. So why don't you try like this? I guess that, sir, you, if you can do like this, then the matter would resolve." And this was actually announced in the entire team. Everyone decided, okay, we can go accordingly. And this thing happens. They all went by the way that what that junior said to everyone. And finally, the result came, and the client was so happy. He just mesmerized, and he was so happy that to say thanks to this team, as well as thanks to this organization who actually did a good job. But one incident happened. That leader who led the entire system, he was resigned. He gives the resignation. What happened? So all of a sudden, that immediately next day, when everyone joined the office, everyone just shocked to know about this leader resigned. It was a shocking news for everyone. Then what happened? Boss got to know this message, and immediately he called to the HR department and just wanted to know what happened. Though that client was happy, team was happy, what happened with this guy, that why he was giving the resignation? This was the question. And that is why that he called directly to that particular leader. I really want to ask to you all, can you guess what did he put, why did he put up his resignation? What happened with him? Please guess and just tell me in the WhatsApp, in the chat box. Anyone can tell me? He was emotional, okay. Anyone else can tell me what happened with this particular person, why that he gave his resignation? Anyone can tell? All right, let's move on. What happened, I want to share to you. Well, that it was the case when he was into the cabin of the HR department and the boss. And boss was asking, though that it was a great team and you did a good job as well, but why you want to leave the organization? I really want to know that. He was saying, sir, actually I did a good job, but it was not my good job. My junior gave me the feedback, sir, why don't you try like this? And I really felt bad. Why my junior gave to me the feedback? And I didn't receive that. He is my junior. And if he knew all these things, then what's my value? That is why I want to resign here. How fearless man he is. Though it was absolutely an emotional case, he didn't accept his feedback as well. Many of us, I guess that if you can tell to your boss, sir, why don't you try like this? Your boss also will not listen to you. This is a quite similar kind of scenario happens. And why these things happens? Just because of that the ego which you have that really don't lead, that really don't continue further to accept something. You have a lack of acceptance. And that is why these issues comes. And it is the great issues. I guess that if you can meet any of the great people or any of the person who's into the senior positions, they really don't listen to their junior. And this is a quite common thing. Why? Because of they thought that they are into the senior positions and no one can teach to them. That is why I want to tell to you, my dear friends, if you can understand this logic, then please just to open your mind and try to understand. If someone says to you, someone gives to you the feedback, accept it. May that some certain things happen, certain wrong things happen, but still that you can understand, okay, someone gives me this kind of the feedback, let's work on it. Feedback could be great, could be bad, could be good, it could be anything, but it is your feedback. Please try to understand, accept this. Acceptance is a great thing, great emotional intelligence. Many of us that we are really worried about our future, but we really don't accept our feedback. Similarly, though we are running our English institutions, many of the students, they agreed, they accepted, then they are very happily go with us. But some students, they really don't accept their feedback. And that is why they always suffer with the issues. So this is a great lesson. Please note down, feedback is very important. This is the first thing. Well, let's move on to the another case study. I really want to share to you another case study, which is again very great. And the case study is an independent woman case study. So I want to tell to you this, she is a great woman and she worked in a very great organization. She worked in a very great organization and she worked day night over there. What she wanted? She wanted that weekly off. Means, as you know, that in the corporate, everyone wants the Saturday and Sunday off. So she also wants the same, but unfortunately, she couldn't get just because of she had a lot of works and her boss only wants work. So one day she said to somebody that if I would make my organizations or my company, I will just make it flexible for everyone. I would just uh, give all the facility, whatever they are looking for. So finally, she took that. She was so frustrated in her current organizations. So that is why she left that and she just started her own startup. She was so happy that she started her own startup. And finally, what happened that she actually built in a great manner. She had a great divisions. She did all these things. She was great. She had a great intellectual skill as well. And she hired many employees in her organization. Though she knew very well corporate culture and she worked very hard over there as well. Day, night, she worked because her business was in the initial stage. So she worked hard. After 2 years, that she was into the great position and she was so happy that she has a power, right? Of course, that she's great and she does a good job as well, no doubt at all. But thing is that one day I mean, their employees are also working in a that manner as well. She worked hard and their employees are also working very hard in this particular organization. That's great. Finally, one day when she reached in the office, that she found majority of the employees resigned and they really don't want to work with that particular organization, and few are into the strike. What happened? What's the issues with her? Why these things happened? So now I would ask to all of you, this is the question. Why every employee did stand against her? What she did the mistake here? Anyone can guess? Please. Anyone? No one? All right, let's begin. That she could not understand the employee. Yes. Thank you, Arindam. What happened that she worked hard when she was in the corporate and she couldn't get the leave or she couldn't get the weekly off. She was so worried. And she, because of this, that she would say these things, if I would start my own, then I would give all the facility. Finally, that she did all these things in her organization as well. But she couldn't connect with the employee. She couldn't understand that what actually her employees want. She couldn't ask these things that if there any kind of help required or like any weekly off, any off is required. She couldn't ask anything. She worked hard and employees also. Though that she couldn't build the connections with the employees, finally employees want to leave the organizations and few are into the strike. Reason that connections, understand, again, emotional intelligence is required. Many of us, these things happens with, I guess, that you can see in your corporate, you can see in your business, you can see everywhere. This is the issues. Everyone faces this kind of the issues every single day because everyone knows that these things are quite common. Why that boss couldn't understand my employee want leave? Why boss couldn't understand my employee also wants some recreations. That is why this kind of the things comes, and that is why I want to tell to you, if you are the same, please change your attitude. Try to understand your junior, try to understand your employees, try to understand your subordinate, try to understand your team, try to understand your entire manpower. Otherwise, one day the same thing happens with you all, that they all will leave you because you don't love them, you don't care them, you don't respect them, you don't feel bad for them. Then definitely they will never listen to you. This is a strong message I want to share to you. Now, let's begin. Now, I would share to you that a story of Mr. A or Mr. B leadership. It's a great leadership quality. I want to share to you what is the difference between Mr. A and Mr. B leadership quality. Mr. A is working in an ABC company. Mr. B is also working in an ABC company. They both are a good leader. They studied in a good good university, and they joined in this particular organization is the one of the MNC companies. Well, that one critical project came for both of them. So Mr. A, he's a very charming person. He always enjoy with his team, and he just feels great to them as well. Mr. B, he's always the serious person. He doesn't want to speak much, and he has a great team as well. So the critical project for both of them, and they started to work. So Mr. A, what he does generally, whenever he comes, he just asks the normal questions. How are you? What do you do? And how's your family? And sometimes he also just sits with his team and just enjoy the lunch as well. It's a potluck, right? Potluck means that you share your lunch with others, right? So he does like this. He's very great into there. So though he knows it, it's a critical feels like this, that he just give the proper information, and he is a great listener as well. He listened to his team member in a nice manner and just share all the information and try to gather the informations from the team member as well. So this is the kind of the ratio between his colleagues and himself as well, right? I mean, he's a great person, he's a great leader, right? On other hand, Mr. B, what he does, he always yelling to his team member and always says that, see to Mr. A team member, how nice they are, how happy they are, how great they are, but you guys are absolutely stupid and you guys don't know anything. Oh God, what's my it's a great problem of mine. Why God actually has given to me this kind of the team. So the time is about to finish of this particular project. So the Mr. A team, what they did, they worked hard and hard and hard and hard, and they couldn't sleep approximately 7 to 8 days. Think of it. Whereas though that Mr. B team was absolutely restless because they listened to Mr. B's, blasting kind of words, and they were feeling so restless, and because of this, at the time of the critical project delivery, they were just tired and they didn't want to come to the office as well. Almost employees were sick. Mr. A, as you know that, he finally completed his project and sent it to the boss. Boss was so happy and he congratulated to Mr. A and he won the battle. Not only this, clients are absolutely happy with his performance. He got a double promotion. And not only this, his teams also getting the double promotion for this particular case. As you know that if you have a very critical case, if you are working in an IT or the manufacturing company, so if any work comes, then you cannot say that I cannot do. And because of you handle that critical issues, so finally, you know that appraisal is must. So what I want to say to you all, what is important? As you know that complexity is our profile. I mean, it's our life, because you can get that complex issues in the organizations, because you know that every day is not the same. You also meet with some complexity, some issues, some troubles, some problems, but a great leader only can change that attitude and can just make it clear and always maintain that decorum in the organization. I want to tell to you two things which you have to write down somewhere. One is your clear vision, means clarity of the work. You could understand that clarity of the work is very important. And the second important thing is energy. Energy is the great emotional intelligence. Important is that to understand your team, understand your subordinates, understand that why this project is called critical project. What is the issues? Listen to your junior, listen to your surrounding, listen to your team members talk, and then finally take the decisions. 85% seniors, they do the same. That is why they are into the top level. That is the reason only. And I want to tell to you, it is very important for everyone. Try to understand energy is very important. If you don't put the energy, then of course that the time when that delivery comes, at that particular time, you feel restless, you feel tired, you feel bad, and you couldn't just submit your things properly. But if you can understand that energy is required and you cannot stretch much, you can't say that I'm a superman or a superwoman, I can work 15 hours in a day, I can work a long and long time. Definitely. And you don't, your brain doesn't work. And one most important thing is recreation is really important. So many things are there in the life. So you just discuss certain things. Sometimes family conversation is required. You just speak certain things. How are you? How's your family? If any issues occurs, then try to listen to it. You cannot do anything. If anything can happen, you cannot do anything, but at least you can listen to your juniors or your team member. That could really help you out. And that is what it's very important for everyone. Well, now let's begin the video for you all. And after that, I will just share to you certain things.
मेढक क्या किया आज?
2 क्रेडिट कार्ड हो गया और मैं जा रहा हूँ, कस्टमर्स मिलने जा रहा हूँ। जा रहा हूँ।
You are not justifying your salary, Mr. Rajneesh. आज 2 अकाउंट, 2 लाख का इंश्योरेंस, 4 डीमेट अकाउंट और 4 क्रेडिट कार्ड का बिजनेस चाहिए मुझे, नहीं तो आप घर नहीं जाएंगे।
आज मैं 4 अकाउंट, 5 लाख का इंश्योरेंस, 10 डीमेट और 10 क्रेडिट कार्ड करके ही जाऊंगा।
ये क्या मजाक है?
सर, पहले शुरू किसने किया?
Shut up! Mr. Rajneesh, आप सीनियर हैं। Respect yourself.
Okay, so it's a great message. I want to tell to you what happens. Many of us, we actually fight every single day the same way. Student, they are overloaded with the homeworks. Employee, they're overloaded with the targets. We all are just fighting every single day for this, and try to understand. This is the problem, that your boss always speak about the illogical demand. He just wanted to you the illogical demand, irrational targets, and all these things. And because of this, that you are focusing and you are just thinking that I need to save my job, and for this, that whatsoever my boss wanted to say, I would just try to fulfill it. But try to understand, my dear friend, what this senior person was doing. He was just replying back to this particular person in the same way. And that is called the emotional intelligence. Sometimes your boss demanded to you the wrong way and illogical things which you cannot fulfill it. You know it very well. Market condition, market strategies, market target. These are the certain important tasks. These are the certain important segments are there where that you just try to understand. It's not possible. But your boss couldn't understand this, and he wanted this illogical demand and this illogical target, which is absolutely impossible. Certain logical demand could understand, but here the person, he was the senior of this particular branch, he couldn't take it serious. He couldn't take it, he couldn't flow with the emotion. He could understand this thing. It's quite impossible. I would just reply the same to him, and did the same. Sometimes you try to understand emotional and emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence, they don't take it very serious, and they don't take it like on in the heart, that you just feel bad for this, and you feel really very bad for these particular things. You don't feel like this. It is what very important for everyone. Try to understand, either you are a student, you are into the organizations, or you are doing whatever, that you have to understand how you can go with your logical target, logical work, and the logical demand. Let's move on to the next one. What to do if this is the case? What to do? I want to share one small video over here, and after that I will tell to you what to do.
मेरा एक दोस्त है, वो मुझे क्या कहता है कि यार विवेक, मेरे को 12 साल लग गए एक फैक्ट्री को 2 फैक्ट्री बनाने में। सुनिएगा, 12 साल लग गए एक फैक्ट्री को 2 फैक्ट्री बनाने में, जिसमें मैंने बहुत पैसा लगाया। प्रभुपाद, बिना पैसे के एक मंदिर को 108 मंदिर बना दिया 12 साल के अंदर। ये किया कैसे? बिना तनख्वाह दिए। मैं इतनी तनख्वाह दे रहा हूं, लोग काम नहीं कर रहे, ये बिना तनख्वाह के लोगों से इतना काम करा लेते हैं। इसी को बोलते हैं कि वैकुंठ से जब व्यक्ति आता है और ऐसी लीडरशिप बिल्ड करता है, ऐसी लीडरशिप वाला व्यक्ति इतना एम्पावर कर देगा कि एक ऑर्डिनरी आदमी से एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी काम करा जाएगा। जब जेब में पैसा हो तो स्पीड आ जाती है। सुनिएगा ध्यान से, जब जेब में पैसा हो तो स्पीड तो आ ही जाती है, लेकिन प्रभुपाद की जेब में पैसा नहीं था। ये थोड़ा सा अनइमेजिनेबल केस स्टडी है कि लो कॉस्ट हाई स्पीड। सुनिएगा ध्यान से, बिना पैसा लगाए लो कॉस्ट पे हाई स्पीड कैसे बिल्ड करें? इसका तरीका क्या है? अर्जेंसी और पीपल स्किल। प्रभुपाद अद्भुत व्यक्ति थे। अर्जेंसी और पीपल स्किल। शिष्य तंग करते थे, शिष्य गलतियां करते थे, प्रभुपाद टॉलरेट करते थे पीपल स्किल के साथ में। शिष्य इनको बहुत दुखी करते थे, प्रभुपाद टॉलरेट करते थे पीपल स्किल के साथ में। स्पीड बनाए रखी पीपल स्किल के साथ में। लोग दुखी भी नहीं होते थे, स्ट्रेस भी नहीं होते थे, क्योंकि प्रभुपाद प्रेम इतना देते थे। उनका प्रेम एक समुद्र की तरह था। श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु, ऐसा करुणा का सिंधु सागर थे ये। इन्होंने एक बार जब ये अपने शिष्यों को लेकर के रथ यात्रा ज्वाइन करने गए जगन्नाथपुरी के अंदर, तो वहां पे मंदिर के अंदर अंग्रेजों को जाना मना है, हिंदू मंदिर है, वो कहते हैं अंग्रेज को लोगों को हम नहीं क्रिश्चियंस को अंदर जाने देंगे। प्रभुपाद ने बोला अगर तुम मुझे जगन्नाथ जी के दर्शन करने नहीं जाने दोगे, मैं जगन्नाथ जी को पूरी दुनिया में ले जाऊंगा। उसके बाद उन्होंने रथ यात्रा करनी शुरू करी और वहां से पूरी दुनिया में रथ यात्रा का प्रचलन चालू हो गया। प्रभुपाद वो पहले व्यक्ति थे जिन्होंने आज पूरी पृथ्वी पर रथ यात्रा और जगन्नाथ जी के दर्शन कराने शुरू किए। जानते हैं ये प्रभुपाद ऐसे व्यक्ति थे, जाने से पहले इन्होंने पूरा मैनेजमेंट मैनकॉम, कॉर्पोरेट्स के अंदर ना मैनकॉम होता है, मैनकॉम का मतलब क्या है, मैनेजमेंट कमिटी। तो प्रभुपाद चाहते थे मैं इसको फैमिली रन बिजनेस की तरह ना चलाऊं, इसको इतना प्रोफेशनल कर दूं, जैसे बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स होते हैं वो फैमिली की तरह नहीं चलते, प्रोफेशनल तरीके से चलते हैं। उन्होंने एक मैनेजमेंट कमिटी बनाई, 12 लोगों की लीडरशिप तैयार करी, बोला जो भी डिसीजन होगा, जो भी पॉलिसी होगी, ये 12 लोग मिलकर के करेंगे ताकि कभी भी करप्शन ना लेकर के आए। जब भी अकेले का खुद का बिजनेस होता है तभी करप्शन आता है। कई ऐसे गुरु जी हैं जिनके बेटे भी अपने आप गुरु बन जाते हैं, उनके बेटे भी अपने आप गुरु बन जाते हैं। यहां पे केवल काबिल व्यक्ति को गुरु बनाया जाता है, यहां पे गुरु को नहीं प्रमोट किया जाता, यहां भगवत गीता को प्रमोट किया जाता है। एकड़ ऑफ एकड़ प्रॉपर्टी बना ली प्रभुपाद ने, लेकिन अपने बच्चों के नाम पे एक प्रॉपर्टी नहीं करके गए, सब कुछ सोसाइटी के नाम पे कर दिया। प्रभुपाद कहते थे कि बिलीफ स्पिरिचुअल होगा और बिहेवियर प्रोफेशनल होगा। सिस्टम सुनिए, कम ऑन, बिलीफ स्पिरिचुअल होगा और बिहेवियर प्रोफेशनल होगा। वो क्या कहते
Yes. So it is the entire story of Mr. He was the Srila Prabhupada ji. So he was the great devotee of the Lord Krishna. And I want to tell to you now that the tips which I really want to share to you all. So let's begin the tips. This is the tips number 1. Create a routine to connect with your emotions, right? So at first try to understand your heart and your brain. Two things are there. Try to understand what exactly you want to do. Are you okay? Are you all right? One thing I want to tell to you, if you are not okay, you cannot handle your team or cannot handle others as well, because you are not okay. When I was in the fever, when I was suffering a bad time, at that particular time, my business was also not going good, because I was not into that level where I worked hard or I did something. But later on, when I was okay with my work and all these things, and I was okay with my health as well, at that time I actually just happy with my work and happy with my entire atmosphere. I also support to others as well. So I want to tell to you, this things happens because create a routine to connect with your emotion. First you connect with your emotion. Here I want to tell to you Sri Prabhupada ji, right? So here I want to tell to you one thing, that the person was not the devotee of the Lord Krishna. He was working in a small organization he's working in a small organizations as a pharmacy person, and he was quite okay with that. But when he thought that he wanted to go with this particular way, and he met with mentors and a great person in his life, he started to do this kind of the work. And today, as you know, that he actually invented or he innovated this ISKCON temple. And because of this, that you can see that 108 countries just pray to the God, and they just enjoy with this card ceremonies and all these things. So I want to tell to you, when you are connected with your heart and the brain, then only you can create something different and you create something new. That is why your heart with the brain connection is required. Connections with the emotions, connections with the emotions of others. Here I want to tell to you one by one things. Listen, be patient, create the space for non-professional conversations, respect and manage, guide and empower the team, sharing the new perspective. Try to understand. I want to share to you one thing here, that you have to listen your team member. You always be present while your team member talking with you as a leader. You have to listen to them. One thing. And the second important thing is that you just focus on their conversations, not that you are into the phone and you are talking with somebody else, you are working some things, you are taking out the files or something like this. Listen to someone very carefully, because someone comes to you to share something. Sometimes you have to speak with them non-professional conversations. Enjoy the party, enjoy the birthday celebrations, and talk with them the movies, like new releasing movies, and any other things not related to the work, that personal life, how it goes, or anything that you can just talk with them, but not with any match is there, any IPL is going on. So you talk with them and just feel relaxed to them. They feel great and they absolutely connect with you. While that you are showing the flexibilities, they feel great and they do enjoy your company as well. So just accompanied with them and feel that they are your friend, they are your strong elements. You can feel like this, and also you can stay with them a long and long time. Guide and empower the team. As I already have told you, that empowering to others, it's a great step. That if you have that quality that you can show to others, you can build that the positiveness inside the others, then that's a great thing. You just create one junior to the senior positions persons, and you just maintain that, because that's you taught in such a manner that a person can able to understand a lot and can lead the next level as well. So that's a great thing. The last point is sharing the new perspectives. Here I really want to tell to you one story of my student. What happens, one of my students name is Ranjan. Okay, he's available here, right? Okay, so I want to tell to you that he actually shared to me one day, though that appraisal time, many of the employees, they don't happy themselves to see that the appraisal percentage. So one employee was with Mr. Ranjan. He was the junior of his. He was so unhappy to see his percentage hike. So Ranjan just sat next to him and asked that what happened. He was so unhappy at that time. He was into the broken heart, and Ranjan was there. He just said to him that okay, it happens in the corporate generally, but don't worry. I would just guide to you and tell to you that how do you get the money by using the share market. He learned these things with the Ranjan, and these days that he's earning every single day 4 to 5K. Think of it. And these days, if somebody asks him that how's life going on, he's so happy. He doesn't have any issue because he's getting whatever from his uh, corporate. That's okay. Apart from it, he gets in another ways as well. So this is called that if you are a good leader, then you can support to somebody's. You can show the other prospects as well. And in that way, that your team always connect with you. Many things are there. So which you can just help them in that way. So many things are there in this, in this time. You can do it extra. You can do it many work simultaneously, and you can get the money as well. So not to worry about this. And that if you get this kind of the team members, or if you can get that team leader like this, then your life could be more and more flexible. Creates an environment for the improvement and growth. Use mistake for learning, routine for group feedback, embrace diversity. I want to tell to you one thing here. Listen to it very carefully. That Mr. Ratan Tata, he actually said one line: failure is the gold mine for the company. So always he appreciates those who makes the mistake. I'm repeating. He always appreciates to those who makes the mistake, because through which he could understand one thing, that what kind of the mistake he could make, and it could not be happen again. For this, what kind of the steps is required. I want to share to you one thing here, that as you know, that nano wasn't work in the market. It was absolutely failed in the market. After that, do you understand what Ratan Tata was doing with his team member? So he said one thing: whosoever comes with the worst to worst uh, worst to worst point, I would just see that, and that person would get the reward. Worst implementations on worst kind of the conditions, whatever, that if you have any worst idea, you can just share to me and you can get the reward for this. I'm repeating once again, that he said that worst to worst idea you show to me, and I will give you the reward for this. These things happens just because of he could understand that if we just work into the worst to worst thing, then we cannot put our money in a wrong way. We just put our money there where actually we want to put. We can stop easily if we can find it out this particular idea will not work, then we can immediately stop it. But we cannot invest the money and we feel bad for this. So he always speaks like this, that just make it the small mistakes. If you can make the mistake, then you can learn from there, and immediately we cannot make the big mistake later on. And this is what actually he's a great, the idea, and that is why that this organization doesn't invest the more money after this nano, that he learned these things very nicely, and after that many projects just came and gone. But he could understand one thing, that he will not invest more money into the wrong project. That idea he received by these worst ideas. So that is why that we do discuss the mistakes, not for the guilt, for the betterment. It's a great things that you have to learn it. At last, I would just finish this workshop with the last line, and the line is all about: every time you have to speak, you are auditioning for leadership. Thank you so much that the patience what you pour and you listen to it very carefully. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Anita ma'am, for such wonderful, wonderful, and an amazing, inspiring workshop. The workshop which imparted us with a lot of knowledge about leadership and how emotional intelligence can effectively tune, tune us in a manner that we can become better into what we are doing. So now I would like, now all the participants are unmuted. Now you can mute and you can unmute your audio. If you have anything to ask, if you would like to share anything, please do ask. But before that, I would like to know a few participants. So Shekhar sir, Mr. Shekhar, how was the workshop? what is your experience from this workshop? Yes, Shekhar sir. Yeah, Shekhar sir, can you hear me? Okay, I guess some network issue is there. And Ranjan, Ranjan is also somebody who works in a corporate and he knows how the things go. So Ranjan, we would like to know your experience about this workshop. Yes, Ranjan.
Yes, sir. So thank you, ma'am, for this amazing workshop. And literally, I had learned many things that how to do all these things, means keep intelligence and emotions, and with leadership qualities, what we have to learn. And you have given great examples of Mr. Ratan Tata. So I'm amazed by joining this workshop, and I will try to learn all these things what you taught today. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ranjan.
so much, Ranjan. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Ranjan, for your wonderful uh, feedback and wonderful takeaway. And we have one new member with us, and Amit. So yes, Amit, Mr. Amit Banerjee. Uh,
Yes,
um,
sir.
yeah, okay, Amit, I guess some network issue is there. Yeah. And now we have Mr. Shekhar. Yeah, Shekhar sir, can you hear me? Oh, he cannot hear me. Okay. So please,
Yes,
okay.
I can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I have I always run short of words. It is so refreshing to just sit and hear and such lovely points, such amazing insights into emotional intelligence. This was a really amazing session. I like all the other two sessions as well. And the examples of Ratan Tata, Sripad, Prabhupada, and everything was so, I mean, it was so different. We have heard about them, but you put a very different perspective about them. And one thing I would like to say, I have observed Miss Anita myself. Whatever she's saying, she practices it also. So that is the best part, that she does not just say something, she believes in also putting it into action. And that's the best part. So coming from a doer, it is really, really great.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
sir.
much for this lovely session. It was an
Thank you,
amazing
sir.
experience.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Great,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful
My
feedback.
pleasure. Totally. Totally. Yeah.
And just like this, before we conclude today's session, I would like to invite all of you for our upcoming celebration that is going to be on 3rd of August. And on 3rd of August, we are about to complete 1 year of online journey. And so I would really like to invite all of you to be a part of this celebration, a celebration which which actually became possible just because of people like you supported us, who actually trusted us enough so that we can move and complete 1 year of journey. And so I would personally like to invite all of you, and the invitations are also going to reach at you very soon. So thank you so much everyone for joining us in this amazing work.